Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. We discovering the fascinating history of George V. King 1948 sixpence coin. Please like, share and subscribe the channel. Let's start the video.
Small enough to slip into your pocket yet rich with history. The 1948 King George VI Sixpence. Coin is more than just silver-colored metal it a window into. A world rebuilding after war reshaped his identity and redefining the very coins that people carried in their everyday lives. Today we explore the fascinating story of the 1948 sixpence from its origins and design to its role in Britain, currency system, and finally we uncover its value to collectors today. Let's step back in time. Chapter 1: The Sixpence, a coin of tradition. The sixpence, also affectionately known as the tanner, had been part of British pocket since the reign of Edward VI in 1551. For centuries it symbolized not just money but tradition used in weddings, Christmas puddings and even children rhymes. By 1948 the sixpence was already deeply rooted in British culture. Though worth just half a shilling, or 1/4 of a pound, it held a place in everyday life and in the hearts of ordinary people. Chapter 2: The Reign of King George VI. To understand the 1948 sixpence we must first understand its monarch King George VI. George VI never expected to be king, but when his brother Edward VIII abdicated in 1936, George ascended the throne. He became the reluctant monarch who guided Britain through the darkest days of World War II. By 1948, just 3 years after the war's end, Britain was scarred but hopeful. Rationing continued, cities lay in ruins, but there was also a sense of renewal. Coins like the sixpence carried the king portrait into every hand, every pocket, every purchase. Symbols of stability in an uncertain age. Chapter 3: The Design of the 1948 Sixpence. The 1948 sixpence is both simple and elegant. On the obverse we see the portrait of King George VI, designed by Thomas Humphrey Paget. His likeness is striking yet modest, showing the king in a left-facing profile without a crown, a humble reflection of his reign. The inscription reads, Georgiv 6DG BROMN Rex Fidei Def. Translated, George VI by the grace of God, King of all the Britons, defender of the faith. On the reverse, designed by George Kruger Gary, we find a bold royal monogram, the crown's cipher GVIR, standing for George VI Rex. Around it the words, FID Def Sixpence 1948, emphasize its value and role as defender of the faith. This design, while modest compared to earlier florid coinage, reflected a post-war Britain practical, clean and focused on unity. Chapter 4: The Medal of Change, no more silver. One of the most important details of the 1948 sixpence lies in what it was not made of. Up until 1946, British sixpences contained 50% silver, but after the war silver became too costly. Starting in 1947, sixpences were minted from nickel, a durable mix of copper and nickel. This meant that the 1948 sixpence, though shiny like silver, contained none at all. For many, it symbolized a break with the past, an end of the silver age of coins and the dawn of a modern industrial economy. Chapter 5: Britain in 1948, context of a coin. 1948 was a year of monumental change. The National Health Service had just been established, reshaping the nation's social fabric. The Olympic Games returned to London, bringing the world together in a city still bearing scars of war, and the empire was shifting. The India had gained independence and the Commonwealth was emerging in its place. In this world the sixpence was a daily companion, whether spent on sweets, tram fares, or tucked away for good luck. It was a symbol of everyday resilience. Chapter 6: Cultural role of the sixpence. The sixpence was more than money, it carried tradition. In Christmas puddings, a hidden sixpence brought luck to whoever found it. Brides placed a sixpence in their shoe for good fortune on their wedding day. Children cherished them as tokens of luck or prizes for good behavior. Even in 1948, these customs kept the coin alive in the imagination of the people. To hold a sixpence was to hold not just value but the culture. Chapter 7: The Sixpence in circulation and beyond. The sixpence remained a vital part of Britain's currency system. Worth half a shilling or two, and a halfpence in modern terms, it was a convenient Denomination for everyday purchases. The 1948 issue was not rare millions were struck, yet each carried with it the weight of history. From the king portrait to the nation. Post-war story. And as Britain moved toward decimalisation in 1971, the sixpence endured longer than most, beloved enough to remain in circulation until 1980. Chapter 8: Collectability and Value Today. So what is a 1948 George VI Sixpence worth today? Because millions were minted, the coin is not especially rare. Most circulated examples are common and affordable, typically worth between £1 and £3 or about $1.50 to $4 to collectors. However, condition is everything. Coins in brilliant uncirculated BU or proof-like quality can fetch higher values, often between £10 and £30. Special cases with exceptional toning or provenance may command even more. But beyond money, its true worth lies in its story of everyday object turned historical witness. Conclusion: the legacy of the 1948 sixpence. The George VI Sixpence of 1948 is more than a coin. It is a symbol of transition between silver and base, metals between empire and commonwealth, between war and peace. Though small in size, it carried the weight of history in every pocket. Today, the collectors treasure it not for its silver but for its story. The story of a king, a nation, and a coin that outlived its time. So next time you see a humble sixpence, remember, you are not just holding currency. You are unholding history. The 1948 sixpence, a coin of history, tradition, and value. See you next time.